It's 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. It is Thursday, May 14th, AD 2025. AD, like I think I said AD twice, Lord. And we're going to have a fun, I hope and pray, loosey-goosey, the Hake Report show. The lines are filling up. You can call in right now, even during Hake News, not fake. No, even during the... Lord, you can call in 1-888-775-3773, and we're gonna get started. Okay? Whose scenery is more beautiful? The desktop awesome photography or Hake's beach stream stuff? I guess you could call it a stream since you're streaming it from the internet, even though it's not a live stream. Beach recording. You can call it streaming because it's streaming from YouTube to your device. I will also get to your super chats. I was remiss in my duty. Let me turn this down a little bit. In my duty to get to the Rumble rants. And there was another coffee from Sion. Shout out, Sion. Thank you for the coffee. There were more people who gave coffees, bought me coffees. I always appreciate those. Thank you, JLP, raiding the stream over on the Rumble crew. What's up, guys? LARPing for cash. Shout out. Chris, did you call Anchor Baby yesterday, or was that a different Chris? Was that Chris? Was that Anchor Baby's show? With his, maybe I'm thinking Joel Friday. I don't know. But anyway, Chris called your show. Was it Chris the mod? We don't need to dox him. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know who it was. When we still don't know, and that's what we like. A man of mystery. A man should be mysterious. I don't know. It doesn't sound quite right. A woman should preserve her feminine mystique and not reveal her age, right? I'm live on Facebook, on X. Sort of interesting stuff going on in the world, honestly. Trump telling the truth about what is going on in the world. Confronting. Not afraid of confrontation. And it's a righteous confrontation. It's not like a silly confrontation or an egotistical confrontation. It is a righteous, mature, valid confrontation. Joel Friday TV is coming up after Hake, guys. He is. Make sure you do catch his show. It's fiery. Joel Friday TV, Monday through Thursday. Sweet. And, you know, the dishonest fake news media. Big Bump pointed out something to me. Trump, what did they call? Big Bump pointed out some word that they used. What was it? Let's see. Ambush. They're calling it an ambush. Trump ambushed. It was a righteous, godly ambushing. Like he didn't know what was coming. He talked about it even before he showed up. If you consider that an ambush, then you're a pathetic little girl. And that's what the commie nonsense and their ilk, such as ABC, MSNBC, all are. They're little girls sticking up for the black man. Experienced negotiator Cyril, I call him Cyril Ramaphosa, but Derek, the black producer, and Anchor Baby corroborates. It is pronounced Cyril Ramaphosa. Whatever. I didn't know that he was a negotiator under that evil communist pig. It's horrible. I disavow. Don't call him a pig. Communist human being, no longer human. He's gone now. Rest in peace. Communist destroyer, MLK type, Martin Luther King level destroyer of countries, Nelson Mandela. He worked for Nelson Mandela, this current president of South Africa. Beautiful work, our greatest president. But he conducted himself a little bit more maturely, I guess if you want to call it. He was more of a mature communist than, and I don't even know if Zelensky's a commie. Is he? He's not a Christian. Does that make him a communist? I don't know. He was kissing up to the world, the global homo world. What's up, Taker fan forever? First Hake show featuring Hake I've attended. Nice. Well, let me know what you think. Rest in what? Rest in what, Mandela? So I need to be getting ready because I have stuff to get to. Yeah, so the media is dishonest. The intellectuals are blind and blind misleaders of the blind, just as in Christ's day, Jesus' day. When you read the Bible, if you ever read the Bible, Jesus dealt with the blind leaders of the blind. The Bible thumpers of his day and others, not just Bible thumpers, actually. He said the Bible thumpers are right about some stuff. He did. The Pharisees are right about, for example, the resurrection from the dead. Made those Sadducees all mad because their enemy Trump, Jesus. Trump is kind of like a disruptor like Jesus was, you know. Disrupting for Christ, for what's right, for truth, justice in the American way. You know, truth, justice in the American way was what Superman stood for in those 80s movies with Christopher Reeve, rest in peace. He fell off a horse, and he was never the same since, at least bodily wise. And it was kind of degenerate. I remember it looked like he slept with some gal. That's not right. In one of those Superman movies. Superman like 3 or 4 or something. Terrible. I disavow. But he used to stand for truth, justice, in the American way. I think he spoke to the UN or something corny like that. Shout out. I like corny. But there's this new Superman movie coming out, and I saw on Drudge. I checked Drudge recently. I've been checking Drudge lately. You know, commie nonsense, Drudge. 2 peas in a pod. Shout out. And on it, there was this headline that said that Superman defies the president in a new trailer for some dumb new Superman movie. Isn't that ridiculous? And the parallel seems like he did fall off a horse, right? It's an iPhone. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, the camera is great. My camera work is lacking a little bit, but you know, Linya and Shin woke me up by saying, ask Anchor Baby. And I haven't asked Anchor Baby for tips on panning. And I do it a little bit more slowly and a little bit more smoothly, I guess. But yeah, Superman. These phony superhero movies. And I liked Superman as a kid and Batman. But I scoff. Because it's this fake heroism and fake values promoted by people with intellectuals, let's say. You zoom too fast, Hake, says Jules. What I tend to do, I overheard, and then I'll get started, guys. I overheard, I was at an Apple store, okay? I disavow. I support slavery, but I disavow Apple. Not because of the slavery in China or whatever is going on. I don't know. I'm kidding around a little bit. But because they're, they're commie capitalists. It's not good. Not very Christian in their values. But I overheard this guy training some boomers and Gen Xers and whoever on using the camera, the phone camera. This is a smartphone, has a camera. And he said, it's best to gravitate toward the zoom presets because those are different lenses. Okay, there's a 2.5 times, there's a 1 times, which is, I think, 25 millimeter, 24 millimeter, I don't know, 32 millimeter, I don't know. And then there's another one that's a 0.5 zoom. But that's the 0.5 zoom is the 32, I think. I forget. I don't know, whatever. But, no, it would be smaller, right? 16 millimeter? But he said gravitate towards those rather than using the so much of the zoom where you click and drag, you tap and drag, because that's using digital zoom, which is not as clean and real as the legitimate different lenses, zoom lenses. Nice. Whatever. Let me make sure my bit shoot is going. Not that anybody watches there, but some people eventually catch part of it. Shout out to the bit shoot commenters. I have received a few bit shoot comments, at least last week. Nice. Like I said, some of you guys are already on hold. So hold on. Okay. Yeah, I guess, anyway, guys. Whole lot of small talk. So let's just get right on. Step out in faith. It's not real faith. With the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I'm fine. And I do have a mildly attractive t-shirt on. I think it's kind of nice. You can get yours if you like, if you so please. It has a girl on it, a princess. You can get yours if you would like by visiting thehakereport.com. If we mosey on over to thehakereport.com and click on the shop in the menu there, it'll take you to hake.printify.me, and it had, the page needs some work, but I put up a mildly attractive. Mildly put in bubble, and attractive it put in like kind of rough, narrow, and it has the Hake Report. This is a Comfort Colors 1717, very good quality combed cotton or something, I don't know. With various colors, you can get it in white or black or all these different colors. This one is probably this one, which is ice blue. The one that I'm wearing is probably the one that you, the default one that shows. So nice, huh? And I don't know if I've washed this yet, and I tend to wash on low and dry on low heat. Or wash is just tap cold. Dry, low heat tend to. And I think it fits okay. People say I should grow up and bulk up and wear a large. I'm 43, whatever. Anyway, I will get to your super chats, but I would like to get to Ryan in Illinois on the line over here. Ryan in Illinois, thank you for calling and holding.
What's going on, Hake?
Hey.
Man, I've been waiting to talk to you for about a week.
So he hangs up like a boomer. Call back Ryan in Illinois. I think this might be him.
What happened?
Yeah, you're like, man, I've been trying to take.
Man, what happened? Hey, man, I got some words for you, man.
Is it Ryan?
Yes, sir.
Are you the one who likes? I hate to bring
the white
this up.
Women.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I like the white women.
Right.
All right, look. You wrong because you said yesterday that statistically speaking, black men beat white women more than y'all do. That's very incorrect. Y'all whoop y'all women. Y'all kill y'all wives. Y'all rape y'all daughters. Y'all kill y'all sons.
Whoa. Say it in a little bit of a nicer way. Don't use kill and rape so much. Y'all own daughters. Well, we've heard it now. SA stands for sexually assault. Okay.
Yeah, y'all sleep with y'all cousins and y'all have babies with them. Y'all are the most common people who have babies in incest lifestyles. Like, y'all are weird, and then y'all want to blame us for this, right?
Right.
So I just had to correct you right there. Y'all got a lot going on. And then if you,
I know, but all those things that you mentioned.
Hold on. Let me finish. Pay attention to the news lately. You know how many white women, y'all wives, who sleep with y'all kids? They be sleeping with 14, 13-year-old boys.
I know.
A lot of them at an all-time high rate, right? We don't hear nothing about that. Y'all don't talk about that. What's wrong with y'all whites?
Because I don't want to talk about that. That's gross.
But look, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all think we are crazy, right? Y'all hold the candle, bro, on everything that goes on in this world. Y'all do it way worse than we do. You think that we kill each other more?
Right.
Y'all kill each other over nothing, just like we do.
Right.
So I don't understand why every time I love listening to you and Jesse,
man.
But man, why y'all always talking about the blacks like we just this worse race, and y'all are horribler than we are. Like, seriously, bro. Look, and then you want to know, you want to know what I really don't understand?
Yeah.
I don't understand why y'all just don't help black folks. All the wrong that your ancestors have done to our ancestors and currently doing to us today because of the things that was put in place from your ancestors. And did you not know that majority of our black grandmothers raised all you white folks? You remember that?
You remind
me of, y'all.
I don't remember that because
I mean, you don't, because
right.
you're not in that generation. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
hey, stop acting crazy.
Well, hey, you sound like Maze, my favorite caller from the sundown town of Dayton, Ohio.
You know I love Maze, right?
Yeah, I do too. If I love anybody, I love Maze.
You love Maze. All right.
And so is it Ryan, Ryan, from Illinois?
Yes, it's Ryan. So,
but look, I'm not taking away anything
right?
that you. Yeah, I heard everything that you said. Some of it, I think, is a false stereotype.
Okay.
But I don't take away that does happen among the whites. Okay.
Right. That y'all did horrible things to us as a people.
Well, and I'm not talking about that part. I was talking about the.
Oh, come on,
I was talking
man.
about the families.
That part, huh?
I was talking about the families and children. I don't know about I do. I like the blacks. They're fun. They're entertaining.
I know you love us.
But just to correct the record on, because we were talking about racism. This whole thing started because Mark from Los Angeles said racism saves lives. If these white women were racist, meaning sided with their race, got with their race of men rather than getting with black men, they wouldn't get beat up or killed or raped or whatever.
Yeah, but it's not true because we don't beat up or kill white women like y'all do. We actually love y'all white women. That's why they come to us, man.
I know, but
get them what they need.
But it's all too common that I don't know. You need to look into this meme, and it's a vulgar meme, but has to do. Have you ever heard of burning the The coal.
Burning the kush?
The coal.
Nah, I never heard
It
of
has it. I understand it. It's probably something vulgar, but I understand it as dating and getting with a white woman dating or getting with a black male. And if you burn the coal, you pay the toll. And there's all these pictures floating around on the internet of white women getting with black men and having pictures of them. And then the next picture over, it's a white woman with like a black eye or beaten up or
Come
killed.
on, man.
Because it happens.
I mean, look, we could do the same thing for y'all. That's what I'm saying. Like, I could talk about y'all all day long because y'all get shot way more than us by the police. Y'all don't want y'all on food stamps more than black folks. You don't want to talk about that.
Proud
so
of it.
if Trump do cut snap, it's gonna hurt y'all more than it's gonna hurt the blacks, right? You do know that, right?
It may may well, and that would be good for the whites who are on those things as well as the blacks who are on those things.
Look,
right?
I just want you to understand, man, that y'all got to stop being
Sometimes
so
you have to hurt
harsh
people to help them.
on the blacks, man. Come on, man. But why don't you help your own people? They doing wrong too.
That's why Trump is helping them by cutting some of this stuff. He's cutting.
Why y'all white women coming to the blacks? Because we're giving them what they want, right? If y'all was man enough, pull y'all ball sacks up.
Whoa,
and,
keep it
and
clean,
be
man.
Y'all women wouldn't leave y'all and come to us. First of all,
hey, I have to slow you down, man. You guys,
come on, Hake.
You know that you're being slightly vulgar, and you're not supposed to be slightly vulgar on Hake.
I'm sorry to say that, kids. My bad. It's just how I talk sometimes. That's the black in me.
Yep. So, I agree the white men should stand up and step up and do the right thing for a change. I'm with you. But
they don't.
Sometimes they don't.
And then they blame the blacks. And then y'all want to create this whole race issue. Man, we ain't got no problem with y'all white man. Y'all got a problem within yourself. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What we need to do is come together. But every time I turn on your show or Jesse, y'all talking about pushing love and peace. Y'all pushing hate, man. Come on, man.
It's not hate.
Stop it, hate. Y'all is.
No.
Y'all not doing nothing but dividing. And Jesse say he not, but he is. Because he ain't saying nothing good. He not talking about the good that white men and black men do when they come together and what could happen possibly great if they came together.
Don't you agree that feel-good stories are dumb?
I get it. So we don't want to talk about feel-good stories.
Right, because feel-good is not even good anyway.
I hear what you're saying. So
it's
totally
nice to point out a good example.
You're not really trying to push peace. You just want the powwow so we can tune in, honey.
Not false peace, definitely. We want real talk.
Okay, I get it now. That's why you love Mark calling in and pushing that racism, because you know he's one of the most stupidest, loneliest men in the world, right?
I don't know about that.
He probably don't got no wife. His kids probably hate him. He probably hasn't had sex in like 30 years.
Hey, I gotta go, Ryan. Have a good one.
Love you, Hake. Love you, Hake.
Thank you. Bye. And let me get to Hayden in Texas on the line over here. Hayden, let's cleanse our palate. How are you doing?
Yeah, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
He sounded just like a woman, didn't he?
Yeah, women do turn really dirty and nasty, and trying to imply really vulgar things sometimes when they are offended, and they project their hatred on you. It's terrible.
He did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's really sad, because I could tell by his voice that he's probably a lot older than I am by how he sounded.
Yeah.
And he brought up the whole food stamps thing. These creatures don't understand statistics to save their lives.
I know. Yeah. I felt like I was thinking about Ronnie in Ohio, whom I talk to quite frequently lately.
Right.
And I told him the truth that a white woman getting with a black man versus a white woman getting with a white man, she puts herself in more danger getting with a black man, statistically speaking.
Exactly right.
And that's quite clear. That happens with any police. A police interacting with a black faces much more danger than a police at random, a random black, faces much more danger, statistically speaking, meaning in reality, than a white man interacting with a cop interacting with a white.
A white person.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
What a mess.
You're 100% correct on that.
And so I wanted to ask him, does he understand? Was he good at math in
no,
school?
you can tell he was not.
So I want to know if he's good at math, because math is this worldly reality. There's a lot of math to it, and it's just something that's so common sense and obvious. But I think that and I don't know if it's a lack of math or if it's an anger that blinds you, an intellectual pride that blinds you to the truth, or just if he's just being willfully stubborn and, what did he call me yesterday? Disingenuous. Is he being disingenuous, or is it habit? What is he? There's some lack of awareness going on within these callers.
Well, when it comes to someone like him, I believe is lazy math. Because what he just gave you, the examples,
right,
was, I mean, that was just pathetic.
Yeah.
That was totally pathetic, the examples he just gave.
Yeah. It's just a common, and it's so funny because usually, it's so interesting to me that usually the stereotypes are true, but the stereotypes about whites don't tend to be true. They're not true. What's the stereotype about whites? Racist. No, that's not true.
Made up,
unfortunately,
it's made up just to fit their narrative. That's all it is.
Yeah. What a mess.
So
anyway.
Yeah, I know. What was I going to say? I wanted to ask you first. I haven't heard you say anything about it, but I'm sure you've heard about it. Have you seen the Democrats' reaction to Biden's downfall about the whole cancer stuff?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't seen their reactions? It's almost as if they knew about it the entire time and they were covering up.
I mean, you would have to. I mean, everybody could see it plainly that he looked like my grandpa when my grandpa was declining. And actually, my grandpa was never that out of it mentally. But the way that my grandpa walked, it was kind of old, slow going, not ready to be a president at that time of his life. So
exactly right.
And the way that he talks and thinks is so crazy, so obvious, so clear. Everybody, even a casual observer, can tell you.
Right. And like intellectuals want to bring in like statistics and polls and stuff and say there was no evidence that he was declining during so-and-so period or whatever. But like the reason they bring up this whole poll stuff and this whole statistic stuff is because there's really no stats or polls when it comes to common sense.
Yeah.
They just want they want to confuse the naive people,
right,
when it comes to this stuff. Oh, there's no evidence on this, so it must mean the right's lying about this.
Yeah.
It's just like, do you know what I'm saying when I say that?
I kind of do. Like, that's something that they do very commonly. Like what they're trying to say about Trump, saying that false claims of a genocide in South Africa. They refuse to look into it. And then some of those who do look into it, they are selective about the facts that they report. And so with their selective facts, they mislead from the truth, away from the truth. Yeah.
You're 100% correct. Did you see him standing his ground against the South African president yesterday?
I saw bits of it, and that was so nice to see.
I watched the whole thing. And they kept trying to go from subject to subject when he brought up the G word. I know you don't like the genocide word.
Yeah.
So I'll call it the G word. Going on in South Africa, he was talking about it. And this one NBC reporter asked him about the airplane he received from Saudi Arabia in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I was like,
you know what's funny is, and then Cyril jumped on that, or Cyril Ramaphosa, and said, I don't have a plane to give you. And Trump said, if you brought a plane, I would accept it. Right on.
Because I mean, that's a generous gift to give someone, and I mean,
Yeah.
you would be stupid to turn it down, you know.
Yeah, of course. And that's not a personal gift. It's a gift to the Air Force or whoever runs Air Force One. It's a gift to Air Force One for the country. So
Right? It's not to Trump directly.
yeah,
But
that is, and South Africa is poor and on major decline. They wouldn't have a plane to give anyway. Not that they ever would. They're not. They say, "Oh, blacks are the most generous race." Please.
bull. That's so ridiculous. You know that last caller you were talking to. He was talking about the whole unity stuff, but at the same time, you could tell how much he hates white people. Just like the rest of your non-white callers you call him most of the time.
Yeah.
You know, people, the majority of Americans are able to, you know, just pack up everything that they have and go to a different country if they truly are unhappy. And if non-whites or specifically blacks really did create this country and they hate, you know, white people so much, why don't they leave? I know the answer is because they can't make it without white people. They want to stay here and, you know, take advantage of the whites with white guilt. And just take advantage of the country. Their goal is to destroy the country, and they won't move away because they can't make it without the white man and woman. That's all it is.
Yeah, and they actually have it. They've never had it so good as they've had it here. And
exactly,
a woman who's never had it so good still loves to complain, and that's what they are basically. Complainers,
men or women in the non-white communities.
Right.
Jesse brought up that woman who fled America after Trump won.
Yeah.
And went to Africa. That's hilarious. I hope she stays there. But I mean that goes to show. I mean they can't make it even with their own kind.
I know.
So, I mean it's hilarious just to see the dysfunction in the non-white communities. It's hilarious.
Yep. It's so true. Terrible.
Well, I believe that's all I wanted to talk to you about today.
Cool, man.
Do you have anything you want to talk about?
No, I'm good. Thank you. I'm fine. I mean, I'm not good. But thank you, Hayden. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much, Hake.
All right. Bye. Chase in Tejas, Texas, on the line over here. Chase.
Oh, crap. Hold on. Let me take you off speaker, man.
Chase.
I had to have you on speaker just in case the Pop-A-Lot guy shows up, and then I have to talk to him. So, how's it going, Hake?
Fine. How are you?
I think I'm good. I'm kind of sort of good, except I have no key for my truck.
You always have some type of problem going on.
Yeah.
Are you high-functioning autistic by chance?
I don't know, man. I'm starting to think I might be.
No, don't fall for that. Don't fall for that.
I mean,
you're my age, right? Aren't you in your like 30s, 40s?
Yes.
Okay.
37, late 30s. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were born before the autism rage. So don't fall for it. Don't be thinking.
The Gen Xers?
Gen X, Gen Y. That's us.
No, we're millennials, dude.
Gen Y is millennial. Same thing.
Oh, okay. Well, so anyway, you ever accused someone you just met of doing something they probably had absolutely nothing to do with?
I suppose I've done that before. Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you the story, and then you tell me if you think
real brief. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll make it brief. You tell me if you think this sounds like something I could be legitimately paranoid about. So I have a friend, and she brought another friend over, pretty much specifically for me to meet my house. And keys and phone comes up missing. This girl has a phone that looks just like mine, and when she notices that I was looking for my stuff, and I said, yeah, I can't find my keys, can't find my phone, still can't find my keys, she's kind of sort of like smirked about it and grabbed the phone that looked just like mine, kind of like she was messing with me.
Yeah.
And for just a minute there, I'm thinking, this chick really just distracted me. Yeah, she flirting and stuff like that. No, She distracted me so she could steal my stuff, and she thinks it's funny. Then she gets kind of rude towards me before she leaves, which I didn't leave with them. I stayed to look for my keys, tearing my house up. But now that it's like the next day and everything, was it last night or night before? I can't even remember if it was last night.
Get to it.
Okay, man. So anyway,
I'm not
you
surprised.
think that's legitimate for me to have originally been parent?
With your mindset, I'm not surprised you lost this stuff. You're a scatterbrained.
That's cold, man.
That's not cold. That's real. You're scatterbrained, man.
I can be, yeah.
You are.
Hey, sometimes I'm not, though. And when I'm not, like, I'm on point.
Yeah.
Like,
so you think.
I have to prove you wrong one day. Anyway, does that sound like a legitimate reason to be a little bit suspicious? And I wasn't mean to the girl or nothing, but she knew that I was suspicious, and I can redeem myself. But
you've based on our past conversations, you don't really keep good company. And so, of course, it's legitimate for you to be slightly suspicious. I'm not surprised because you have, for one, you're like, like I said, you have bad friends.
Yeah, well, this girl's one of the conversations
and then for another, you're not the like I said, you're scatterbrained. And so I'm not surprised that you would, one, be suspicious of them, but also be suspicious of your own failure to keep track of your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And be organized.
Well, the first conversation, one of the first things.
Normally when you get home, you put your keys and your phone in the same place every time. Is that right?
Yeah.
And sometimes when you deviate from that, then you've lost them. Right?
Well, I was going to say, you're right to say the company I keep, because I was told my husband.
You're dealing with more than one woman at a time. That's bad, friends. Shout out. It's a fact.
All right, man. So, I mean, that didn't really answer my question. You basically just called me a dummy. That's cool, though. I can accept that.
It answered your question. Yeah, it's legitimate to be suspicious because you have untrustworthy woman friends. But with drugs involved sometimes, and druggies lie, and then two, you are also, like you said, a dummy.
Can't even get into it. Yeah.
It's true, right?
I can't even get into it. I can go find my spare. I might have to do that.
Nice. I wish you well. Chase
all right,
in Texas.
Hey, man, thanks for taking my call. Next time I'll make sure that I'm not as scatterbrained, and then maybe I can get to the point faster. I don't know.
No worries,
Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye. Wow, what a mess. Mark in Los Angeles, California, on the line here. Mark, thanks for calling. What's up?
How you doing, Hake?
Doing fine.
First of all, I wanted to thank you and Alan for the kind words yesterday. Shout out to Alan from
Alan
Michigan.
in Michigan, yeah.
Yeah, I think he knows a lot of the same people I know. I'm not, quite his age, but
right.
He said he lived in Chicago, and I was in Chicago in the mid-'70s. There were two NS groups, and he mentioned Rockwell Hall. You know who it's named after, right? In Chicago.
Oh, is it Norman Rockwell or is it George Lincoln Rockwell?
Commander George Lincoln Rockwell. Although it's since been closed, it was a big hit in the 70s. And I'm sure Alan knows a lot of the same people I knew.
Yeah.
But he's a good man, and I appreciate his words. And I'll get to my point, but I just got to react to something this guy Ryan said. Okay, first of all, he's got the earmarks of a very, very low IQ person.
Right.
When they repeat every sentence, that's an indication they don't know the English language. He's obviously a white hater. And I'm not going to say anything more than just this question to you and the audience. And if the dummy's listening, this isn't for him, but would any normal white man or woman, if you're a white man, leave your sister alone in a room with a guy like him? I wouldn't. And when he was talking to you, it reminded me of the words of the great J.B. Stoner. The only reason they want integration is because they want our white women. And they're not running to guys like him. He's running after them. I don't know about him personally, but just the way he spoke indicates that he's
really
a ghetto dweller. And probably, again, I'll just put it this way. I wouldn't leave my sister in a room alone with something like that.
No, I mean, he admitted he couldn't help but talk, dirty like that. And he attributed it to his being black.
Well, he's ghetto trash. But the point is, did you notice how he attacked me at the end of his monologue?
Yeah.
With all those personal attacks. That's all they've got. All they've got are personal, physical attacks and the word racist.
Yeah.
But the reason I called Hake, I don't know if you followed the story on the New Orleans jailbreak over the weekend.
A little bit.
All black and women, all women, and 3 of the 4 women are black, and the one white woman who's the chief of police is a disgrace. I mean, she looks like she's 100 years old.
Yeah,
in that police uniform.
That woman who's sort of white looking.
Oh yeah, she's a white lady.
You will be charged.
Pardon me?
I'm mocking her voice, saying you will be charged. Like,
oh yeah,
it's real intimidating, lady. Give me a break.
And these monsters that escaped, I mean, they are some serious devils, man.
They said they're innocent. Somebody wrote on their jail cell wall, "We innocent."
Yeah, they can't even spell right. and it said also
that doesn't mean they're not innocent, though.
No, they're all convicted criminals.
No, they're charged. They're in jail.
No.
Some of them are convicts, I'm sure, but some of them are. If it's a jail, they're not necessarily convicted always.
No. What happened? And I think his name was Graves, one of the escapees.
Okay.
He had already been convicted on a murder charge previously, was rearrested, and sitting in jail waiting for another trial. Why he got out on the murder? Only black justice can justify that one, because New Orleans is run by Negroes, and it's a third world city. It gets very little attention.
It's been that way for quite some time, too. Remember Katrina? Whew.
Yes. And it's only getting worse. But basically, it's a third world city.
Yeah.
And it's not safe to go there. Maybe that's why the media doesn't give it a lot of attention. And also, I know time's limited here. I wanted to shout out to President Trump for showing not only that fat tyrant that he had sitting in the office. That's a black leader. That's what they look like when they're the majority. That's the character they vote in.
Yeah.
And I don't care if this clown wants to say, 98% of us are good people. Baloney. They vote for clowns like that. And he couldn't, it was like showing a cross to Satan when that bozo was in the White House yesterday. He didn't want to look at the pictures. He didn't want to talk about it. And then that clown from the media got shut down by President Trump, and that was good. Trump and me have a lot in common. We speak our minds, we both get censored, and we never apologize. Although I did apologize to our friend. I guess I'll have to make an exception on that one. But they rarely apologize.
Yeah.
And look how we're under fire. And they don't want to talk about the white genocide.
Yeah.
And it's happening in the U.S. It's happening here, just on a smaller scale, because we're still the majority.
Yeah, so-called. Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe
we're the plurality at least. We're the biggest minority. If we're not, maybe nobody's a majority anymore. At least sometime soon, that's going to be the case.
Well, if you look at the Congress and the Senate, it's primarily still white. I know we got some animals in there too that hate the white race, but the majority, like they passed the big beautiful bill. Was it
in the House? Yeah. Now it has. Will the Senate pass that? Do you think?
I hope to God they do.
Yeah. Because
if they don't, all that border enforcement money won't go through. The extended tax break that Trump gave us back in 218 or 217, that'll expire and your taxes are going to go up. Wow. It would be crazy if it doesn't. And every commie Democrat voted against it. I think the Democratic Party is a hate group. I think they're a demonic cult.
Yeah. No,
That's how I
I'm
would
with you on
describe
that.
them. Yeah, they're not a political party anymore. They started going with Satan when they passed the Civil Rights Bill. That's where the downfall started. White Southerners abandoned the Democratic Party after that unconstitutional communist law went through. And now we're at a point where whites are becoming almost a minority, and we're going to be South Africa unless Trump saves us. And I know that's asking a lot, but he could at least put the brakes on this black revolution, you know. And it's not just black revolution, the LGBT scum and all these other groups that hate white people. And the LGBT group are the biggest terrorists in America. They're the ones committing a lot of shootings, and they're not giving it any publicity.
Oh,
You have
interesting.
to search all this stuff out. Well, the Tennessee shooter was an LGBT.
Was that
one
the
that shot
Catholic
the
school?
border agent.
Was that the
Yes.
You talking about the Catholic school, the female to want to be male, alleged transgender or whatever? I don't know what she was actually, because they don't tell us.
No,
they don't tell us the details.
Well, I don't know if they. I think they did release her manuscript, and she said she hated white kids, and also the transvestite or whatever you want to call these freaks. The one that shot the border guard up in Canada was part of a radical trans group. You know, I hate to steal a joke, but it's gotten so bad in America. You can be a Down syndrome's retard and form I'm sorry for using that word, but it's part of the joke, and still form a gang. It's called Antifa.
Oh, yeah. Antifa is disproportionately transgender per capita. Shout out.
And mixed race, and white haters by code. You know, that's just part of their evil satanic cult code.
Yeah.
We hate whitey. Last thing here, and I'll let you go. When you think about it in historical terms, the white man has been at war with the colored races for the whole history of the world. Look at all the wars, with the exception of us fighting our white brothers in Germany. Almost all the wars have been with colored races throughout history, not just the 20th century. So, white racial struggle is the only hope for world survival.
Interesting.
So think about that. And also, lastly, racism saves lives.
Thank you, Mark.
That's all I got. Thank you, Hake. God bless.
All right. Bye. Real briefly, let me show this little news update. A couple of news updates. Budget cuts. The House voted 217 to 212 overnight. Has to go to the Senate to clear a procedural hurdle to bring our greatest president, Trump's domestic policy bill, to the floor, the big, beautiful bill, for a full vote. And so we'll see what happens. In the bill, nearly $1 trillion in cuts from Medicaid and food stamps. I don't know what Medicaid is. They always talk about Medicaid and Medicare, whatever. Work requirements for Medicaid starting the end of 2026. Raise the debt ceiling $4 trillion. Wow. Spending $150 billion on defense programs. Limiting judges' power to hold the Trump administration in contempt. Phasing out Biden energy tax credits sooner than planned. Increasing the state and local tax deduction. Trillions of dollars of income tax breaks, making those permanent. Allocating $45 billion to build new immigration detention facilities, very much needed, although we do need to deport quickly as well. Allowing certain taxpayers to deduct income from tips on tax returns. So if you get tips, you can deduct that income if you're a certain type of a taxpayer on your tax returns. CBO said the bill will increase the budget deficit by $3.8 trillion between 2026 and 2034. And there's this guy, Thomas Massey, who voted the big, beautiful bill as a Titanic level. You know, the Titanic was a big boat, the unsinkable ship. God himself can't sink it. Debt bomb. And that's Thomas Massey, a Kentucky Republican guy. I like him. Don't know if he's right or wrong. He says, we're raising the debt even more and cut your taxes, increase spending, everything's going to be just fine, which is a good thing to do usually, actually, because you cut taxes, you actually increase income because the people make more money And so they pay more taxes, but just less percentage of their money that they're bringing in. But anyway, he says the bill dramatically increases deficits in the near term, promises our government will be fiscally responsible 5 years from now. Where have we heard that before, he said. How can you bind a Congress to these promises? It's a debt bomb ticking, he said. So he voted with the Democrats against the bill. And I don't know if he's just being a lame-o intellectual, pretending to have values, and he has this beef against Trump, or if has a principled stand against what Trump is wanting, and he's right all along. I don't know. I like Trump. I trust Trump. I like Thomas Massie. I don't know Thomas Massie as well. We're not rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic tonight. We're putting coal in the boiler and setting a course for the iceberg, he warned. Cute poetry there. Thomas Massie. He's that nerdy-looking guy who got yelled at by that black Democrat about the gun stuff. You're not looking at the data. Thomas Massie. So, I don't know. And don't really care. I like some of these things that are listed here. Tax cuts, increase in the budget, the defense budget, because he wants to build, I don't know if part of that is to build the Golden Dome, getting rid of the fake power of these evil judges, trying to hold the Trump administration in contempt. Ridiculous. So, I don't know. I don't know, don't really care. And secondly, this is more important, honestly. I guess. Maybe it's not. Where was I? And then I will get to your calls and super chats. Here's our greatest president, Trump. I told you about the debt ceiling stuff, or the budget mess. Here is Trump confronting Cyril with the truth. Oh.
Turn the lights down and just put this on. It's right behind you.
There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. South Africa occupy land. That's who we are. So whatever you want to do, we can withdraw my membership from this useless parliament.
This is Fox News footage. It said breaking news, and this was yesterday. Anchor Baby showed some of this yesterday. JLP showed it today, this morning, for the experts, some of it. He dimmed the lights and showed this TV footage of them talking about occupying the land. It's so interesting. The blacks in South Africa, and it's not the natives, by the way. Some of the natives, maybe so-called natives, black indigenous people, if you will, some of them are indigenous. These are outsider communists who want to take the land. It's so interesting that they want to occupy the land and colonize over the whites and steal the land from the whites, but they accuse the whites of having stolen the land. But they're doing what they accuse the whites of doing. Communism. Human nature. What satanic nature in the woman. Accuse you of what she's doing. That's what these people are doing. Isn't that interesting? Hopefully this is not bad loudness. I've cranked it. And here.
Never be scared to kill.
Never be scared to kill? What? I feel like I shouldn't be playing this on YouTube.
A revolution.
A revolution.
Demand that at some point there must be killing because the killing.
At some point there must be killing in a revolution. Terrible, huh? And you don't need a revolution. You need repentance. They talk about, oh, we need police reform to save the blacks. No, we need black reform to save the blacks. Repentance.
It's part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill. Gaza.
And they're dancing and jumping around.
Kill the Boer.
And they're saying, "Coop the Boer." The Boer is the white South African farmer. the native stock whose ancestors built up South Africa and made it habitable. It was like uninhabitable, I heard. And they made it habitable. And now these people are coming in and killing the hand that feeds them. Hey, that's that guy. That's the guy who said, I think that's that Malema, Julius Malema, right? Who said, I'm not calling to kill the white farmers or white people, at least for now. I can't. There's a revolution coming in this country. I cannot predict the future. This is Trump showing this in the White House. Based, right on. Based boomer Trump. Remarkable. Look how packed that stadium is. Some people must have walked out. I'm not for that, right? Didn't some decent-minded black... I've heard of black South Africans say, give the white man the power back. At least we had a functioning country. We had jobs. You know what I mean? And then I'll get to your calls.
The man of DAPE is a white man. So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man.
I don't know what he's saying, and there's no captions. So, something about white man. I thought he said wise man. Same thing over there. Except not all the whites are very wise. There are whites who are against the whites. Just like here. Suckers. Comfortable suckers.
Talent will pay because you have turned a white man.
Huh?
Not because Mashama and Soli will not be touched.
What?
They will be touched. No one. But we're starting with this whiteness. We're cutting the throat of whiteness.
Cut the throat of something. It's like they wanted it. In America, they talk about getting rid of whiteness. And they say, oh, we're not talking about white people. Look, Communist Black Fist, EFF. What a mess, huh? Whoa. And, you know, it's so funny because the blacks talk about the KKK and all that stuff. You have, like, and the KKK, I don't think that the KKK ever, like, advocated for this. Maybe sometimes some of them did it. That's great. Hey, that's the clip.
I'm saying you was not called for the killing of white people. At least for now. I can't ever see the picture.
I mean, do you understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter? They freak out. It sounds like a...
There's Cyril watching and Trump watching. Oh, he said crybabies. What a righteous thing Trump is doing. Confronting the man about his evil that he's allowed in his country. Look the other way. They don't enforce... Do they prosecute those farm murders? They're like, oh, I guess we can't do anything.
What
is that saying? I think in African they're saying we're going to shoot them. I know African is not a language, okay, but it's some language. We're going to shoot them. They're going to run.
Who will expropriate land without compensation.
Expropriate their land, take away their land without compensation.
Whether they like it
and they're doing it
or not.
Whether they like it or not.
If they object, they can seek a refugee in America.
If they object, they can seek a refugee in America.
Now this is very bad. These are burial sites right here.
Burial sites.
Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross, and there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers. And those cars aren't driving, they're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who was killed. And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Both sides of the road, you have crosses.
Helicopter footage. And beautiful Ann Coulter, she is the pearl of the Gen Xers or boomers or whatever. She's the Pearl Davis of the Gen Xers or boomers, meaning she knows what's going on, you know, and is a loudmouth about it. Beautiful loudmouth Ann Coulter. Why is Trump the first president to give a, cover your ears, kids, but crap, about the genocide of white South Africans? And Nick Sorter, she quote tweets, some guy, Nick Sorter, I don't know who that is. Holy crap. Our greatest president, Trump, just directly confronted the president of South Africa like a man with videos of his government calling for white genocide. He calls his government, because the EFF is in the government, right? Economic freedom fighters. Freedom. Anchor Baby debunked that. Turn the lights down, roll the video. These are burial sites, crosses marking murdered white farmers. And they capitalize the W, because they've been capitalizing the B for black, so now they're capitalizing the W for white. I don't get into that. The president of South Africa looks so shaken, as he should be. Way to go, President Trump. Right on, man. Oh, I already retweeted Ann Coulter. I'll retweet Nick, I guess. Nick? Yeah, it's Nick. Not to be confused with the Anchor Baby, though. Thank you, beautiful Ann Coulter. Shout out for acknowledging, even though you're kind of she's kind of petty and nasty towards Trump sometimes, she knows what's up. Trump cares about SA, South Africa, not to be confused with sexual assault. So let me get to a call or two here, guys. Jeff in Louisiana, patiently on hold. Jeff, thank you for holding, man. You're live.
Real quick before I get to my point, just elaborate on something Mark was talking about.
Okay.
A little bit. You know, when Trump come in and he first did that executive order to get all transgenders out of the military, and that federal judge come in and ruled something on it, saying that he's allowed. You know, I don't remember what his actual ruling was, but that federal judge's ruling he made, if you was a paraplegic with Down syndrome, you could join the military.
You can or cannot?
Well, the order he ruled, you could.
Oh, with the order that he gave, you can be physically deformed, disabled. I don't like that word. Handicapped,
and mentally handicapped, you can join.
You can still join. What a mess.
But you know, the Supreme Court since overturned that, but that's how stupid that's how bad these judges hate Trump.
Wow.
But dude, I was going to comment. You've been on a lot this morning, but that video yesterday of Trump and that South African president.
Yep.
Trump started to embarrass that dude.
Yeah, but he wasn't trying to embarrass him. He's just pointing out the reality.
But did you notice when he started playing that video, the guy looking straight forward towards his constituents and smiling and laughing? He wasn't looking at the video. He didn't. And then Trump pointed at and said, "Look at it." You know, you can see what Trump most of them like. Watch it.
That's awesome.
And when they get down to the cross, where they show the cross at, and Trump's talking about the crosses, he actually said, "I have not seen that footage. I know that was there."
Yeah, I heard that he said that he hadn't seen such and such footage. And,
well, the crosses were out. He hadn't seen that footage.
So he doesn't know what's going on in his own country.
No.
Because that footage is illustrative of what's going on in a big way in the country, and everybody knows it, but most people are denying it. Yeah, go ahead.
You was just playing it, and you seen right there where he's smiling and Trump pointed to be like, watch the video.
Exactly. Yep. What a mocker. A typical that's Obama-level mockery. You know what I mean? Like just denying the reality of the situation.
Yeah, but dude, that's why this is a. I mean, I wasn't alive back in George Washington days and all that stuff, but as far as I can tell, this will be the greatest president we've had and ever will ever have.
Yeah.
Because he don't give a crap.
That's right.
He's gonna tell you what he thinks.
Yep.
I mean, how many people would invite a foreign president into their office? Well, this is the second time.
Yeah, and shove their face into their own mess that they refuse to acknowledge. I love it.
Just like you did Zelensky.
That's right, and rightly so.
He's like, I don't care. Y'all need to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's amazing how, you know, Elon Musk, I saw a video yesterday of him, and I don't know who was interviewing him, but they had him up on a big screen, and a woman was interviewing, trying to ask him questions. You know, he's from South Africa.
That's right.
And they will not let him run certain, and some of his companies in certain countries over there.
Wow.
But he's there.
Elon Musk is a credit to South Africa and to America. And I think that these refugees will be as well.
But yesterday he asked the woman when she was interviewing, he said, well, I'm from South Africa. Why would they run my country over there? She goes, I don't need to answer that. He goes, no, why won't they run my country over there? She kept trying to change his direction. He said, no, you need to answer that. Why can't I run my country there?
Yeah.
And she just kept cutting him off. He said like 5 times, and she finally just cut the interview.
Nice. That's Elon Musk, huh?
Yeah, Elon Musk. I mean, he's just...
Shout out to him.
I don't like that South African president, man. He seems shady as you can be.
Yeah, I know you want to cuss, and I get you.
Well, I'm trying to hold back because I don't want. I know you don't like it much on your show,
right? Yeah, just for
decency.
Yeah, but I'm with you, man.
But no, man. I mean, it's just. And I was saying something yesterday where China's come out and said they don't want us to build our golden dome.
China doesn't want us to build our golden dome, huh?
Yeah, the missile defense stuff. They don't want us to build it for some reason.
Missile defense system.
Yeah, well, why do you think that is? Because they want to try and bomb us.
Yeah.
So what's going on against it?
That's very interesting. It's mind-boggling even to consider the notion that anybody would or could fire a missile onto America, but the way that America has been falling apart, I suppose we shouldn't be surprised if the unthinkable were to happen, because we leave ourselves open to attack. Why wouldn't somebody attack us at some point?
Well, everybody wants to say, well, they can't fire a missile that far.
Yeah.
Well, even if they can't, regardless, you got to think the fact is, it's just like back in the Cold War when Russia was putting stuff in Cuba. It was so they'd be closer to strike. And now when Trump says he wants Greenland, who else wants Greenland? China.
Oh, really?
Why do you think it is? So they can be closer to build missile strikes to strike us.
Yeah. And if we had a golden dome, then we wouldn't be on the same. We would be on a whole other level. of untouchableness. And so I could see then we could hit China and they couldn't hit us back. And just that bargaining chip, not that China is even thinking necessarily at this point of doing it. They don't want us to be untouchable the way that with dominating and untouchable, you know? They don't want us to be dominating. That's interesting.
But you know, the real reason Trump wants Greenland is because they did some aerial footage of it a while back ago. And don't quote me word for it on this because I probably got half wrong.
Yeah.
But years ago, like back in I think the 50s or 60s, the U.S. started building missile launch sites on Greenland that's under ice now. And they got some real reconnaissance photos, and Trump's seen it, and he wants to reestablish that because we had built, you know, missile launch sites there to take out people.
Yeah.
So Trump wants to get that back and get back over there.
Yeah. Interesting, man. You know, I love how Trump thinks big and thinks differently, rather than all these people in there staying with the status quo. When the status quo, the things as they are, is not acceptable. It's not right. And he wants to return America to greatness. That's cool.
Well, the thing is, Trump thinks about America first.
Yeah, right.
Jobs, money, defense, capability to strike. You know, he puts America first and foremost for everybody. Like I said before, he has the money. He don't have to work deals to get money.
Yeah.
And that's what every president's done so far is worked a deal to get money. Except for W. He was an idiot. The only reason we went to war in Iraq, it wasn't because of Al-Qaeda, it was because his daddy lost the Gulf War.
You think so? You might be right. It felt kind of like that. It felt like, oh, Lord, this is part 2 against Iraq because the daddy went against Iraq. And I don't know, I thought it ended fine. And then W, the son, went against Iraq again. It felt weird. Not knowing anything, but you might be totally right. I don't know.
You know what? I bet it keeps. I honestly think it keeps him up at night to know that Bin Laden was killed under Obama.
Maybe. That is funny, man.
Man, what you think about it? He got Saddam out. That's his goal, to get Saddam out.
Right.
But it wasn't. Man, what's the country like now? Just like it was before we got there. They've got some new holes.
It's a mess.
I mean, it's just, you know, we go over. They do all this crap and then go rebuild all this country stuff. Dude, just keep our stuff here.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't gonna hold Jeff. I know there's people trying to call in.
No worries, Jeff. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Have a good one, man.
You too. Bye. And I hung up before the click, and he considers me for the click now. That's cool. We are well into the second hour. Let me double check. We mosey on over. Actually, let me just show you guys how to find, because some of you guys are over on pilled.net watching Hake, or you're on rumble.com/the Hake Report, or, you know, watching Hake on the Rumble app, or on the pilled.net app, and you want to know, Hake, how do I find Joel Friday TV? You find Joel Friday TV only on YouTube and IG. Okay? So you hit the like, you turn on notifications, and you hit second. Hake is second on the thing. And the nature of evil, Darth, that is Joel Friday TV. Coming. Oh, Lord. Boomer Hake, clicking the X to delete or close. Stuff. Inadvertently. I deleted the no chest, move along thing. It's horrible. Here, while I'm setting up, oh, Lord, have mercy. While I'm setting up the redirect, let me do this. Let me customize, redirect, Joel Friday TV. Coming up next, the nature of evil. Okay? Kevin House says, hey, you never saw that map for a Greater Israel project? It was like back in the 70s. And we've literally invaded every country on that list except Iran. Iran. LOL. Lots of laughs. Laughing out loud. Lots of laughs is a hat tip to the late, great Colin Flaherty. A real journalist, not a sleazy one. He died. He had covered out of control black crime, basically. Shout out. And he loves the blacks. He said JLP is the most important man in America. So right on. And no, I've heard a little bit about the Greater Israel Project, but no, I didn't know about that. You know, I guess that's why people say, oh, we fight wars for Israel. Whatever. Okay. Shout out to you guys. So, thank you. Make Israel great again, too. Is that okay? No, it's not okay. You guys, chill out. Let me see where we are over here. Oh, yeah, Gregatron, thank you for that tip. I still have to check out that woman with her up talk. Thank you, Cesar. I don't know if I read this one from Cesar. I think I did. The Latino shooter. Yeah, I did talk about that. The Latino shooter who killed one person and injured 3 with an AR-style firearm in Nevada. Was that the one that's the gym? Because another Latino, Rodriguez, shot and killed a couple, an Israeli couple, in D.C. yesterday. A pro-Palestine sucker, socialist. Manuel, 5 coffees. Now I know where... Oh, no, I already read that one about the Ronnie thing. Sion says, hi, Hake. Hank, I'm like you and Mr. Mad. Love, not devil horns. Love, black hand emoji. This means love. I love you. With the disc problem, but mine's on my neck, all the way down to my hand. It's affecting her nerves, right? And back, bulging disc. Let us wish each other well. Wish you well, Sion. 3 coffees. You're pulling on my heartstrings, Sion. Gregatron, I thank God for y'all's little network. Thanks, Gregatron. That's cool. It really gets me through the week. I have an idea for your little show. I'll try to call in on Monday, my day off. Is Big Bump coming for Memorial Day? We are on standby with Big Bump. Possibly so, possibly not. TBA, to be announced. TBD, to be determined. TBA, to be arranged. Manual 5 coffees. With a tip, a little example for Ronnie, instead of assuming what might happen if whites leave the blacks. Here's what actually already happened. And he has this tip, this YouTube video. I shall just open it briefly and not show the whole thing necessarily, but just to let you guys know what the video is, so you can look into it for yourself on your own time. It's you were colonized by Europeans, but you learned nothing from them. A Chinese man to the Congolese. Nice. I feel like I saw this on Anchor Baby at one point. You were colonized by Europeans, but you learnt nothing from them. A Chinese man to the Congolese. A video from Uganda Today. Wow. 8 years ago, 1.6 million views. Check that out. And it's not very long, actually. It looks like it's a... Are my eyes still good? Is that a couple of minutes long? A little bit... Yeah, 2 minutes, 14 seconds. I'll have to check that out and share with you on the show, perhaps. Angban Art, I realized When people say there's nothing with this or that, they are judging. Positive judgment. Oh, nothing wrong, maybe. Maybe he or she, Angban Art, don't want to dox this person's gender. Left out the wrong. There's nothing wrong with this or that. They are judging. Positive judgment is just as wrong and biblically illegal as negative judgment. I agree with you. Angban Art. A wise man once said, and it stuck with me, don't judge too good or too bad. You know what I mean? Don't judge as good or bad anybody. Don't get overexcited. They say something you like or you really agree with and think too highly of anybody or too lowly of anybody based on something you disagree with or agree with, you know? That's what happened to some of these whites who felt disappointed with Trump. They thought that he thought exactly like them on some of these things, and they assigned intentions on him that he never intended, nor even expressed, nor even implied, but they, in their dark excitement for him, misjudged him, and then they turned against him, some of them. And that's not right. That is judging positively. You judge somebody positively, a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever, or this or that guru. You're going to end up, you put them up, you're acting as God, and you are a God maker. You made this person a God, and then you made him a devil. Terrible. CSR3 Coffee, sup, Hake? According to the Big Five personality test, one of the traits is called neuroticism. Wow. It pretty much determines how one reacts to a situation. Average person is usually in the middle, while higher scorers react more emotionally, and low scorers react more calmly, or sometimes are considered cold. I speculate that the blacks on average score higher than the average person with neuroticism. The real question is why? Is it due to generational trauma, or are they cursed, like Jesse says, laughing face, emoji with tears coming out, or is there a difference between generational trauma and a curse? Don't know. Well, I added that part in, but thank you, Cesar. Very interesting. And Lin Yun Chin with some supers there. I spotted them. Wow, LGH, Lord Goodhair. Good use of common sense to explain to Prince Hayden. No Y in Hayden. Not to dox his first name spelling. I guess I just did. How fact worship is used to misguide the mouth breathers and other subhumans, which are feeding into their own demise while worshiping the very intellectuals orchestrates it. Mess. Yep, facts are not truth. Facts lead you away from truth. There was something that Lord Goodhair, Lin Yun Chin said, that truth is one. Or he might have said zero, but there is just one to truth. Truth is like the whole truth. And you can cite a factual aspect of the truth, but then that'll end up being a lie because you're misapplying it. You bring it up when it doesn't have anything to do with anything. That's what happened with Ronnie in Ohio and others who bring up facts that have nothing to do with the truth of the matter at hand in the moment. Shout out. Chase in Texas says, Lin Yun Chin, I see why you feel like one of us instead of white. He feels like a POC. High neuroticism. You need to calm down enough to sense your own lines of intent instead of hyping up to their fragmented state of a blah. Calm down to brighten up. I liked that line so much that I made it the title of one of my episodes in which Lin Yun Chin stated or advised, calm down to brighten up. Holy mackerel, the weird, slobbering, wild idiot vibe from the South African leaders, it feels just like the Gungans and their mascot Jar Jar Binks. No wonder the dim majority of my kin calls Jar Jar racism. Africa. Makes me glad my ancestors were enslaved. Lin Yan Chin, a descendant of slavery. In Jamaica? Lin Yan Chin? Cool. Didn't know that. Shout out. So thank you guys for your super chats. 1-888-775-3773. That's 888-77-JESSE. Thank you, Lin Yan Chin. LYC. I sometimes abbreviate it. What's up? I'm looking at the chat. You can't see the chat, but I'm looking at the chat over there. Dustin Cross, Age of Inversion, T-Flying Monkey, Slave to Him, and the rest of you guys. Southern Skies. Over on the Rumble crew. What's up to the D Live crew? Misty gave a couple of lemons. Thank you, Misty, as always. Just want to shout out you guys. Come on, man. Says Lin Yan Chin is a 40 IQ, maybe. He says 72, so I don't know. Don't short shrift him. Hake has that written on his fridge. I have it as a sticky on my mirror. A sticky being a Post-it note. On my mirror. Calm down, Hake, to brighten up. And then I slap myself in the face. Come on, man. I had a friend. I don't want to, but he, you know, his dad was named like a one-syllable name. And so I'll call him Dan. Dan. He's like, come on, Danny. When he messed up in playing tennis or something. Shout out. But that's not true. I don't have it written on my mirror. I'm checking on... Oh, you know what? I saw this from New Dodge over on BitChute and Joe Blow. Joey Blow over on BitChute. I don't know if these are real people. They say, but he says, sorry, magtards, but Vax Dad has screwed you all over. Once again, the no tax on tips is only for tips paid with cash. It does nothing to help most people who get the tip left on a credit or a debit card. I'll have to remember that and give cash tips for if I, you know, whatever. That's funny. Is that true? Interesting. Thank you for the tip, Joey Blow. If true, look into it. Huh. Joe Blow 88, different person, maybe. The bond market is sending a clear signal. The big, beautiful bill may be big, but it's anything but beautiful. 10-year treasury yields up to blah, 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 blah. I don't know this stuff. Rates higher. Blah, blah, blah. Soaring national debt. Compounding the cost of soaring national debt. Trump's big new Doge says Trump's big, beautiful bill would eliminate health insurance for 13.7 million Americans. Good, because the government shouldn't be in that business anyway. I say that's good. Take away food away from 4 million children. Good, because the government shouldn't be feeding the children. End Pell Grants. I've heard of Pell Grants for 1.4 million students. Good. Students are just getting brainwashed at these dumb colleges anyway. Cut Medicare and Medicaid by over $1 trillion. Good. That's a health care business scam racket. And give the top 1% a $664 billion tax break. Very, very good. That's oligarchy, so claims new Doge. Sound like nationalist socialist over there on BitChute. But I'm live on BitChute, BITCHUTE. What's up, Smart Poker? And Mr. Zoe? Maven, Matt1776 gifted the cookie. Love the call-ins. Yeah, me too. There is one line open. Hang tight, callers. I will get to you. 1-888-775-3773. And when I say I will get to you, I may or may not be lying. If it be the Lord's will, I shall get to you. And I set the Joel Friday TV redirect. And I have some news to cover, though. Some of it I'm actually excited about, okay? So you're going to bear with me, and you're going to like it. Okay, yeah, I'm on CNN. So that was the budget thing. A little bit of stuff going on. The Israeli embassy staff got members. They got shot and killed standing outside the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. last night. Authorities say the suspected gun male observed pacing back and forth outside the museum before opening fire on a group of people. Entered the building after shooting and killing those two. Waited to be detained. 30-year-old so-called man showed officers where to find the weapon. Chanted, "Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine." Why does the devil have all the good chants? While in custody, the victims, Yaron Lichinsky, Sarah Milgram, and you notice CNN being lame-o liberals don't want to name the perp, right? They don't want to name the perp because that's giving glory to the perp. I don't buy into that. I'm going to name the perp soon. A young couple soon planned to get engaged in Jerusalem, I heard on the JLP. According to Israel's ambassador to the United States, quote, "I'm devastated by the scenes in D.C., Israeli President Isaac Herzog, not to be confused with the prime minister. I don't want to hear from Herzog. I want to hear from Beast Bibi Netanyahu. Maybe he's too busy dominating Gaza and genociding the A's. I'm kidding around. This is a despicable act of hatred of anti-Semitism, all one word, no hyphen, which has claimed the lives of 2 young employees of the Israeli embassy. And of course, it doesn't exist. But they lumped them in with what's going on in Gaza. Terrible, huh? Here's some headlines I got from Drudge. The Jerusalem Post, a supposed quote, "I did it for Gaza. Who is Elias Rodriguez? Far-left activist who allegedly, I put allegedly, murdered 2 Israelis. Rodriguez. Elias. I liked one gal named Rodriguez when I was a kid. She liked me first. Anyway, reportedly a member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation posted an anti-genocide pledge on its social media. I wonder if that had anything to do with what the devil got getting in this guy's mind. This is the guy right here. Doesn't he look like a pathetic one of those Mexicans who gets made fun of? I don't know if he's Mexican, but Chicago Latino. Looks sort of Latino. Hanging out with the blacks. Elias Rodriguez protesting among others. And look at this skinny black communist fist from that mildly attractive black gal with the little afro thing, mid-level size afro. This is an article by Matilda Heller. The man who killed 2 Israeli embassy staff members outside the Capitol Jewish Museum, D.C., yesterday. An active member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation, PSL, far-left Marxist pro-Palestine group. Chicago native. That means he was born in Chicago. Native. A Native American. Or was he an anchor baby? I don't know. Held a red keffiyeh. Keffiyeh. Is that one of those, one of these things? Is that what one of these things? Handkerchief? Maybe. Shouted the free, free Palestine as he was, free, free Palestine, as he was being taken into custody after shooting Cyril Milgram and her fiancé. I thought they were going to get engaged. So, boyfriend, Yaron Lichinsky. But maybe they were engaged. I mean, if they were going to get engaged, so I guess she had already said yes, but they just wanted to make a scene of it. You know, make a little thing. And now, like I said in Hake News, in the kingdom of heaven, men and women are neither married nor given in marriage. So, you know, things of this world pass away. And marriage is a thing of this world. So, if they made it up to heaven already, or whatever, I don't know. What a shame. This guy playing God, killing. That's not a smart communist. Smart communists, they kill and they pretend to be the KKK or something. Clever, you know, clever communism. He's not a clever one. We thought he was just in the street. Maybe he came into the building because he wanted to be somewhere safe, said Katie Kalisher, have told NBC. He had attended an event at a Jewish museum to listen to a panel on humanitarian aid in Gaza. They tried to calm him down by talking to him. When asked which museum they were inside of, she informed him it was the Jewish museum. Referencing the shots heard, he then asked her, do you think that's why they did it? Oh, so he was playing dumb. He shot them and then ditched the gun, allegedly, if I'm gathering the story. She said she was sure that the shooting was unrelated. And sure enough, it wasn't. It wasn't unrelated. It was the guy. Is that true? Am I understanding the story correctly? Terrible. This is the couple. Nice look. Oh, Lord. I shouldn't have. Is that a GIF? Is this a GIF or a GIF? I call it GIF. Why are there no controls? Yeah, here's the couple. Who knew that they could be, you know, mildly attractive? Because there's, all of a sudden this thing is not working. But anyway, that's them. Rest in peace. That was them. It's no longer them. They're gone. Rest in peace. Terrible. And he's taller than them. Great looking couple. They look so nice. I could picture them attending a church with Jesse Lee Peterson at Bond. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. What a shame. White Hispanic guy. Hard G, Hake. Hard G. What's the hard G? No, it's not GIF. It's GIF. It's GIF, Chris. I'm going to fight with you guys. But I accept GIF because I feel like, and I call it Ethernet. Some people call it Ethernet. And I accept Ethernet too because, you know, smart people. There are smart people. There are very fine people on both sides. What a mess. So I wanted to cover that. I wanted to. Whew. Free Palestine. I say shout out Palestine, not free Palestine. Shout out Palestine. Because that's love. Does this work? I think I need to close and reopen my thing. Quit and reopen. Multiple instances, whatever. Here, let me do this. Ooh, quit. Okay, maybe it'll fix itself. In the meantime, sorry guys. I apologize. But yeah, terror attack. Alleged. It's not right. Say what Israel is doing in Gaza is not right. I don't know. I'm not one to judge at this point because I'm ignorant on it. I acknowledge my ignorance. Some people were saying, oh, it's a fake. It's to silence conversation about what? About Israel. Silence the criticism of Israel, right? Everything's not fake. Shout out to Everything Is Fake, but everything is not fake, you know? How about forget Palestine, says Steve C. It's pronounced Ethernet because you are in the ether. I know. I think that's why I think you guys are right. But I think that GIF is the correct thing, not GIF. But we don't have time to get into it. You're probably right, Chris. Anyway, I would be remiss. I'm remiss in my duty to get to my greatest and favorite caller, Maze, from the sundown town of beautiful, perhaps. Is Dayton, Ohio beautiful, Maze?
No.
No? Really?
No.
Dang, harsh.
Well, I called
Yeah,
for the
right.
ill and uninformed.
Yes.
And looking at that reality show yesterday.
Oh,
Now,
Trump, you're talking by reality show, you mean Trump righteously confronting Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa on the
Can I
genocide in his own country that he's pretending not to know about. Yeah.
Did you show the genocide? Did you see any genocide?
Yeah.
Oh, you saw it on somebody. I mean, you didn't understand the language they were speaking, first of all. And all of a sudden, somebody's coming on speaking English, talking about a revolution.
Right.
Now, did that make any sense to you?
No, but
Unless
the ill and
you got-
uninformed
yeah.
blacks over in South Africa, they you can't expect the angry you can't expect the angry to make sense. They
When I
don't
was
make
when I
sense.
was listening to him,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he said the ill and uneducated
Yeah.
will love him and whatever he does.
Who, Trump?
And that's what I was thinking about the whole time he's sitting up there with that reality show with that man that came here for business.
What a beautiful president we have,
And
don't
what the
we?
man said at the end was, we can take care of business since you threw with your TV.
Wow, what the disrespect.
where is the genocide?
That's Obama. That's Obama.
You're not looking for Obama had
That's
nothing to do with this.
No. That's Obama-level mockery.
Really?
We can now that you're done with your movie, we can talk business.
Well,
That's a
it's in there
typical.
with the big-
That's
all the Looney
I'm not
Tunes around
surprised that you like that, Maze, because you
What is
being
it that the man
you
said?
being
What is it that
you
he
being
said they were not going to get any more of his resources from his country?
Maze. You being a devil-possessed woman would like that passive-aggressive dismissal of the legitimate complaints
Well, if I'm a
of the
devil-possessed woman
beautiful
as a
white
heathen-
of the beautiful white South Africans who are under a genocide.
Where is the genocide? They didn't have
In
no
South
nothing to
Africa.
show, showing a bunch of pictures over and over and over again. Who knows what some cartoon pictures could have been? Who knows what it was?
Do you
But
think the
whoever put it
slave?
together,
Do
they
you think
should
the
go
slave
in the corner.
ships? Do you think the
And you
slave
talking about
ships were
Ann Coulter?
cartoons, Maze?
What?
Were the slave ships cartoons?
No, they weren't cartoons.
So how come? Why are you dismissing the genocide
You
as
didn't show-
cartoons
who was
crosses?
talking about, if you're talking about genocide, won't you show it? Not going
because this is a clean, children-friendly,
Yes, the moment-
woman-friendly show, and I don't have the stomach to show
You know it's funny.
killing.
You know it's funny, James.
What?
When you was sitting there, just like a march, he sit up there and took it in, and it's like, oh, they're hurting the white people over in South Africa, and they got to bring them over here. So genocide. If you were listening to a revolution,
Yeah.
now why is this man speaking in English and he's over there talking to his people? That don't make any sense.
It
at
makes
all.
sense to me.
Does it make any sense to you?
Yeah.
Then you got your IQ. Some people IQ so high until they don't have no sense at all.
Thank you.
IQ don't matter anyway.
I agree with you, Maze. Get rid of these IQ supremacists.
Face your problems. Your problems are not ours. You
That's
get it?
right.
But you always want to put it on us.
But don't you notice that we're all
One
the
day
same?
you're going to realize that your problems is your problems, and our problems is our problem.
Don't you
And you
notice
need to
we all
solve
have the
yours,
same
and maybe
problem?
The problem we have is part of what you got.
Don't you notice that we all have the same problem?
No, y'all don't.
Yeah, huh?
Y'all ignore it. Y'all expunge it. Just like you say, you hide what you do.
Yeah, but crime is not a problem.
Why do you hide it?
We hide our crimes
And the
because
Speaker of the
we
House,
have
you
a
know what he
little
said?
because we have a little shame, unlike you people.
Okay. But when I heard the Speaker of the House say, like, Biden was hiding what he was doing, but Trump has got his in the wide open. What does that mean?
Because Trump is he is in your face, our greatest president.
Oh, really? Y'all greatest president.
Yeah.
That's right.
Is
But
he
what you
beautiful?
looking-
Is Trump beautiful, Maze?
What?
Trump. Is he
Not
beautiful?
in my sight.
Oh, okay.
That don't mean I just like, you just don't like him. It's not about liking him. It's about the Constitution. Are you following the Constitution, or are you just following somebody that's leading you to destruction?
Am I going mad, or is this the first time I've ever heard the word Constitution escape your lips, Maze?
No, I said we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, is not what we're looking at. And you know it. That's right, Smile.
Did you say more perfect union?
That's right.
Lord, only blacks who don't want unity want a more perfect union.
Y'all don't want unity because listen to what you do every day and listen to what you listen to every day.
I want unity in Christ.
You're mad with the Hispanics, you're mad with the Asian people, you're mad with... Well, what you going to do if they all get together and tell y'all it's over?
I have not been mad at the Asians all day.
And all this stuff anymore.
I have not been mad at the Asians all day.
Really? And next thing then come Ann Coulter. She was with JJ from Good Times. Well, did you have a problem with that?
Yes.
You did?
Yep.
What kind of problem did you have?
I told her to break up with him, and she did.
Oh, really? Listening to Mark
and JJ from Good Times is black, right?
I know code words too, James. When y'all use them, I know them. And the 80-year-old,
you know our dog whistles.
We're talking about the same thing.
Norman Lear, is that Norman
Lear? One
that
told you to go to the museum and look at this and look at that and how broke down it is.
Jimmy Walker?
Well, I don't know his name.
Okay. What are you saying? You've moved on to a different topic entirely.
Him and Mark, they agree with each other, but he do it in a different way than Mark do. Coding.
HADEN.
Code words. That's what y'all use, but y'all think people don't understand them. I do.
What code word do we use?
And try to talk over the people's head.
What code word do we use?
Well, that's him and Mark. Mark say, I agree with you and you and him talking about me yesterday saying something good. But when Ronnie talked, you can't take about what he said with his freedom of speech. Everybody can't have freedom of speech, but Mark and people like him, they can have freedom of speech.
I don't believe in freedom of speech.
But they got to be haters because they give their speech and what they think.
I believe in shutting nonsense down sometimes.
Really?
On my platform, yeah. I'm not some fake thing called free speech absolutist.
And when you hear somebody saying that black people can't live without us,
I respect and admire and aspire to have the spirit of the freedom of speech.
You should have a godly spirit.
In which I do not overreact to the lies.
I don't either because
you people.
I don't care about people liking me.
Yeah. Huh?
I don't care about people liking me because if the truth hurt, that's their business and not mine.
That's right.
It's better to tell the truth than a lie.
Indeed.
Because the truth stands alone and a lie travels. And so
are you really as statuesque and beautiful as that statue that you made Anchor Baby show?
They wanted to know what I look like. So if some people know what I really look like, they probably fall out and die. Because they're a shock. So I gave you a version of what I look like.
Pardon me for asking.
The original statue.
Pardon me for asking, but are you a boomer? Are you a boomer?
I'm a human being.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask what decade you're in terms of age.
Y'all got boomers and fascists and all this stuff.
Can I ask what? I know this is impolite, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I'm uncouth. But are you in your 70s, 80s, 60s, 50s?
No, I'm not in my 70s, nor my 80s.
90s, 40s, 30s?
No, I'm not. That's what the illegal and uninformed think I am, but I'm not. You don't know how old I am.
Teens.
Age and I get around. That's what mazes do. Right. You don't know what age they are. Just because they know history, that don't mean that you got to be an old person.
I really admire your feminine. Your feminine mystique. Yeah. You are a lady.
Well, thanks for that.
Yeah.
And that's what women do, stand up. Not sit back and relax and be talked about and said anything by supposedly men, weak men.
Is your husband quieter than you?
My husband, no.
No, he's loud. He's more talkative than you?
Yes, he is.
Really? Really?
So be careful for what you say.
And you're not kidding around with me with that.
No, I'm not kidding around with you.
So he's more talkative than you.
Yes, he is. When you talked to him that time.
Yeah.
Didn't you talk to him?
I think I did. I don't quite remember. I remember him talking to JLP years back.
No, he didn't talk to JLP. He talked to you.
Oh. So he's never talked to Jesse? Are you sure?
No.
I thought he said, "Let me talk to your husband." I thought Jesse said, "Let me talk to your husband."
Talk to my husband.
Right.
he wouldn't talk to Jesse.
Oh, but he talked to me.
Oh, I forgot. Since I couldn't get on, tell Jesse happy birthday.
Nice, I will.
But anyway, tell them to get rid of some of that evil they got within, and they can see themselves. But be careful for what you wish for. You might get something that you don't want from your Congress.
What do you mean by that? Can you explain?
We will wait. Let's wait and see. I have patience.
Right.
I want to see you tearing up stuff if you're not happy with what you got. Leave it at that. Y'all have a good day.
You too,
And
Mace.
tell Mark he needs to look at some of those people in the chat room trying to write, that don't know how. Before he speak of people not knowing how to speak English and the correct English, because he doesn't speak the King English or the Queen English himself. Have a good one, James.
But we're Americans. You too, Mace.
That's right. We have a different kind of dialogue.
That's right.
And you understand it. You pretend you don't, but you got it.
Nice. Thank you,
So the
Mace.
wolf's going to come in huffing and puff.
Indeed.
And blow his house down. Have a good one.
You too. Beautiful Maze. How wonderful. A quick couple of news items. We're coming down to the end here. Joel Friday TV coming up. While I'm presenting these news items, I feel like I want to play some John Parfit. Bright Lights. Let's do Summer Fire. In the background, you know? No. We can't have it start like that. There we go. As we wrap up.
Like a thief in the night, they'll take away what's left of us.
Bright Lights, Summer Fire.
Burning landslides lighting up the sky in front of all of us.
I'll turn this down a little bit. This may not have been the wisest decision, but I'm going to try. We need police reform? No. We need black reform. Turn this down a little bit more. Budget cuts, blah, blah, blah. Ramaphosa. They called it ambush. That's dumb. Qatar jet peak headsets accepted it. Police reform. The Trump administration is moving to dismiss federal oversight agreements with several, at least a few, major U.S. police departments. By U.S. police departments, they mean some of these cities, I think. Consent decrees, these agreements are, used as a monitoring system at police departments where the Justice Department, more like Injustice Department, found a pattern of misconduct. In court filings Wednesday, the DOJ asked judges in Kentucky and Minnesota to dismiss the consent decrees reached with the police departments in Louisville and Minneapolis. Enacted after the shootings of Breonna Taylor and the police so-called killing of George Floyd. That was dumb. Those are dumb. The feds need to be watched, not the cities. The cities can be watched themselves. Manny Pacquiao is back. Oh, here's this. Rare side effect to be highlighted on vaccine packaging. The FDA now requiring some China virus vaccines, COVID-19, to use expanded warning labels detailing a small risk of myocarditis, which is heart inflammation. The vaccine's old labels already provided a warning about the heart decision, but it is an expanded warning, and CNN seems to want to be downplaying the possible, the risk. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Huh? Was it? Okay. Joel Friday TV is coming up, guys. There was a pilot that went without a pilot, a plane that went without a pilot, but for a while because the pilot stepped out and the co-pilot fainted in the cockpit. I've never fainted. Oh, I won't disclose anyway. I gotta get out of here. Peace in the Middle East, or at least in your hearts. Bye. Bye.